This is from the Sicha Chelek Chavav, the second Sicha of Parshas Yisro. When it comes to Jewish education and outreach, etc., sometimes we fall into the trap of the Yetzer Hara, that one person is more or less deserving of our devotion and of our care and of our efforts to teach or to bring them back to Yiddishkeit. And we think that this person is worth the effort and this person is not worth the effort, and this person is a good person and this one is not a good person. And we start developing preferences as to who deserves to be connected and who deserves to have a way back. And then we come to the Rashi of this. And by the way, the Rebbe doesn't say this, but sometimes we do this to ourselves, and we think maybe we're not worth the effort, that we're not valuable enough to invest the effort to bring ourselves back. But anyway, then we come to a Rashi, this week's Parsha, where the Parsha talks about the Ten Commandments, Aseret Adibris, and Hashem introduces himself to the Yid, and he says, Anochi Hashem Elekecha, I am your God. But he uses, in Hebrew, there's a difference. When you say you, there's a difference whether you're talking to one person or you're talking to a crowd. In English, there's no difference, but in Hebrew, it's a big difference. And Hashem says to the nation, millions of people, he says, I am Anochi Hashem Elekecha, I am your God. And he uses the word that you would use when you're talking to one person. And the Rashi says, why does God do that? Because he wants to provide in advance, preemptively, he wants to provide Moshe Rabbeinu with a means of defending the Yidden that would later worship the golden calf, that Moshe should be able to say to God, you could forgive them, because when you said not to worship other idols, and when you said that you are their only God, they heard you say it in the singular, and they didn't realize that you were talking to them. They thought that you were only talking to one person. They thought that you were talking to me. So, in the Aseret Adibris, which is the Holy of Holies in the Torah, in the holiest part of the Torah, and in the first one of the Aseret Adibris, the first of the Ten Commandments, the very foundation of Yiddishkeit, I am Hashem, Anochi Hashem Elekecha, Hashem goes out of his way to address the assimilation and the wandering of Yidden, and not just any Yidden, the Yidden that would rebel against Hashem 40 days after the revelation at Mount Sinai. Not the greatest, highest, most lovely, friendly Yidden. And yet Hashem goes out of his way to provide a defense to Moshe Rabbeinu, that he should be able to defend those Yidden, because Hashem loves those Yidden. And by the way, the Rebbe points out, the defense is not so hot. It's not such a great line of defense. The commentaries all marvel at it, like, really? The Yidden didn't realize that Hashem was talking to them after the whole prep for the revelation of Mount Sinai and the whole build-up, and then they all gather around because Hashem wants to talk to them. Hashem starts speaking and they think that he's only talking to Moshe? Really? And yet, despite the fact that it's not such a strong defense, Hashem provides it on the off chance that Moshe Rabbeinu will grab it and use it to defend his children, the children of Hashem, those children of Hashem. So if Hashem feels that way, then what right do we have not to feel that way? We love Yidden the way Hashem loves Yidden. We love Hashem's children the way Hashem loves his children. And he doesn't distinguish. He loves them all. The ones that behave, the ones that don't behave, the ones that are pleasant, the ones that are perhaps unpleasant. He wants all of them to be with him. And so we don't have any right to start distinguishing and picking and choosing. We have to love every Yid with all our hearts, from the top to the bottom, and everybody in between.